Hello, everyone. Hope you're all out there and looking forward, as I do, to have a chat this Saturday morning. Hope you have coffee in front of you and ready to chit chat a little bit about things that may concern you, the kind of week you had, what challenges you see about your breakup or relationship, or something to do with your psyche, which includes your thoughts, consciousness, role of your fears, desires, and ego in all of this, and how we negotiate our day-to-day life as we go along. Today it's rather sunnish, foggish, both in Vancouver. At least I can see a bit of the ocean out there somewhere. And it's not as rainy as usually is. Some say Vancouver is like London with sun. So now, let's see if you guys are out there, and if you actually could let me know that you're out there, so I know that I'm not crazy and I'm not talking to myself. So on that note, I'll have a bit of my tea and wait till I hear from you guys, and maybe a thumbs up or a thumbs down or something, some kind of a finger, so I'll know you're there. And at the same time, think of a question, because this is a Q&A. There's no lecture today, and I've shared with many of you around the world about 39 talks so far, 39 weeks. And mostly have been done on a beautiful Facebook page called The Amazing Things in the World. Now, that was always on Sundays. Now this is on Saturday, which would be on my own Facebook page, Mind That Seeks Truth Author. And so in this way we can have a chat every week on Saturday mornings. And I believe that would be something in the afternoon for Europe. And perhaps it would be about 5 or 6 o'clock in Australia. So I'm sure nobody's up there to participate in our talk. But it will work out for India to be about 12 midnight. But mostly for Canada, United States, and Europe, it's the right timing. And I will try to have other talks which would suit the time zones of Australia and India more conveniently at later dates. So at this point, I'm going to wait until you guys show up, arrive, so I will know that you're here. Otherwise, I usually get bored talking to myself. And if one does talk to itself, some says it's okay to talk to yourself, but it becomes a trouble if you answer yourself. Then you might have to see somebody. So I'm glad that some of you are showing up and saying hello. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know your name and where you're watching and where you're participating. And on that note, I'll wait for your Q&A, and I may have to repeat what I just repeated because nobody was here. Now that you're all here, or some of you are here, let me know from which country you have joined us, and at least that would be a start. So, Alex, from Los Angeles. Salam, Alex. Good to see you. Misbahul Islam, Sakif, hello dear. How much face value matters in love? Do you mean the way someone looks? Is that what you mean? Well, as you know, we are resonating through facial expressions, images, sound, and we get our clues unfortunately, we think we get our spiritual clues through physical shapes. May be true in a way. We interpret every imagery, every picture into something that we like it to be. So if you're a man and you like women and you see a woman with a certain kind of a shape of an eyebrow, you interpret that as certain kind of a confidence, or certain kind of a question, or certain kind of a perseverance, or certain kind of a quality that you like that to be. And so you feel that picture includes, or that person, because of the shape of, I don't know, the eyebrow or the nose or whatever, expresses certain kind of a power or confidence. And we always, having been programmed to want to be more than what we are, we like to have, or we have a propensity to be attracted toward that what we think is power, that what we think it's more security, that's what we think that it will give us that certain image that we have of ourselves in our life. So we're drawn to that picture. However, being attracted to someone because of the face or the body or the shape, it's the program of sexuality that we are attracted to each other. But there is no guarantee, and there's no basis of thinking that attraction will also mean bonding. A sexual attraction is just that. Especially we men are programmed in our genes for procreation. Whether we know it or not, we see a woman that suits our taste, beauty to us, because every woman is beautiful depending on who thinks what is beautiful. And to women, every man could be beautiful if it fits and suits their taste. But the fact that we simply are attracted to a woman, that is because of the programming that we have for sexual intimacy, for procreation. But that is not where the bonding takes place. That's a momentary thing. It's very short-lived. And if it's not backed up by support of consciousness, the two being able to communicate and be on a level that they can actually feel that they have arrived to a certain level of that elusive psychological security, they will fall apart. Because sexual intimacy and attraction does not have longevity. It has pleasure of the moment that we're programmed to have, but does not create any bond of substance. All that is created through our thoughts and compatibility in consciousness, which means when we get together, the attraction of sexual intimacy attracts us, introduces us, makes us interested in each other, give us a time to create that bond. And then if we can create that new order, despite, every one of us have a certain order in our life, the way we do things, the way we think. And when we get together, my order will interfere with her order, her way of doing things. And her way of doing things when she was single interferes with my way of doing things when I was single. Now that we're together, we're supposed to find a new order, so it will work together. And therefore, that new order can only be created through our thoughts and interaction and ability to understand each other, support each other, help each other. That is where the actual value of the relationship, whether it works or not, shows itself. Otherwise, looks, believe me, there are many beautiful, delicious looking dishes that you can see in a restaurant, but that does not represent the quality and taste because it looks nice, because it's in a good tray, because it's in a good plate. You put it on a golden rim plate, almost any dish looks beautiful, or you put it together with some garnish and all that, looks beautiful, but doesn't mean that the quality of the ingredients gone into making it or the taste of it is all balanced. So the looks are attractive, but it doesn't create the bond that is necessary for a relationship to be healthy and become stronger and develop further. Hello, Janet. Good to see you. So, Mesbah, I hope that will answer your question, maybe more than what you asked for. So, we are now looking for another question. As soon as I have it, we will chat about it. Otherwise, I'll just take a nap. Good? So I hope you had a good week and things were sorting out for you. Every one of us go through different challenges every day, and trying to cope with those challenges is what makes the quality of life this way or that way. Alex has a question. Mehranjan, how a couple can restore an old relationship by not dwelling on the past issues and try to build a future without focusing what went wrong in the past. Alex says, I'm 35 and she's 26 with different ethnicity background. Well, often people think this has to do with education or foresight or patience or understanding, so you would be able to put aside the past history or the situations or experiences or the challenges between the two of you. But I want to introduce to you something a little different today that may or may not you may or may not have been introduced to. I sounded like a Yoda. It came after. You may have been introduced to, may or may not. So the topic, the point would be this. What if you notice that what past means? What if you focused on the meaning of when we say something in our memory or we think of it? What is that? Often you think you need to act on what you remember because what you remember was not something that you liked. Now, when you remember it, you want to fix it. So you go into your thoughts, and in your memory, you're debating with your memory, and you do that by yourself. Now, when you have a partner, you want to hash it out, the stuff that belonged to past. Because you think by discussing it, you will turn the scenario and the story in a way palatable to you or acceptable to your order, based on your consciousness, content of your consciousness, which is formed through your traditions and religions and things you've been exposed and what you've learned and so on and so forth. But look at it this way. What is a memory? What is a memory? Let's make it easy so I don't have to go to the caveman time and ancient time and start explaining it, what we have already explained. Isn't memory something that is not happening now? Whatever you know, you remember, and it's not happening this moment that I'm talking, but you're thinking about it, and it has happened. It's not now. And because it has happened, so it's not a future. So what is it? It's the past, right? What is that? Whatever is not happening now is a memory. Why is it not happening now? Because it happened before. So if something that happened before, is it constantly happening again? Well, if it was happening, it would be happening now that we're talking. But it's not, right? This is what's happening now. This is the now. What we think and what we remember is a memory that is not happening now, which means it happened before, which means it doesn't exist. It's dead. Because if it wasn't dead, it would be happening now. So memory is past. Past is not now. Past doesn't exist. Past is dead. It's like saying, if you imagine a river coming from the mountain side, on the left side is the mountain, and the river is flowing towards us, and lingering a bit, we can see what is here, and moves on. So in its flow from the left, while it hasn't arrived to us, it's the future. It hasn't arrived. We don't know what's in the water. We don't know what's carrying. We don't know how fast it's going. We don't know when it arrives. But it hasn't arrived. That's on the left, from the mountain to us. What the kind of a water, part of the water that is passing us by, it's the now. It's the one that we can interact with. I can, scoop a hand in it and pick up something. Whatever it's carrying, I can know what it is because it's in front of me. That's my now. Now, I'm involved with the now. I can be involved with this portion of the water of the river that is passing by. But the ones once it passes me by, I have no reach to it. I have no control on it. I can't have any interaction with it. That's the past. So when something has been in the water that is in the past, part of the water of the past, the one that has passed me by, past means past me by, it's gone. So once that water is gone, I can't reach to it. Means to me, it's dead. It's unreachable. I can't interact with it. So what's the use of you trying to bring alive something that cannot become alive? You want to grab that, you're going to run after that water that passed you by to try to hold it. It's fluid, it's gone. You can't ever reach it. And you can't do anything to it. So what's the purpose of you thinking and talking about these issues of the past with your girlfriend, thinking that you're going to make any changes to it? But what you're looking for is you and your girlfriend are trying to have your opinion about the past changed today. What for? Why would you change the opinion of yours and you think it worth anything, whether this way or that way, about something that it doesn't even exist? Imagine a soccer match. Somebody scores. And many of us sit down and say, if so-and-so would have not passed the ball there, and he would have run here, and then the ball would be kicked, he would be able to defend it, it would be... We're talking nonsense. It's gone, it's goal, it's scored. No matter what you think and how you want to justify that or not that, it will not change anything. So you're wasting your energy with your girlfriend to discuss and prove to each other and have an opinion of something that doesn't even exist in this world anymore, is of no consequences. The only way there can be a consequence is you that you're bringing it up. Otherwise, the road is paved. You can ride your bicycle on it. Two bicycles side by side. You can ride this road because the road is fixed now. Both of you are on the road. Why do you want to think about, this road had lots of bumps. I couldn't ride my bicycle. It was so painful. It was bothersome. And I fell down. What for? Focus on the paved road and ride a nice drive, an outing on a bike. Enjoy the moment. Because before you know it, this moment will also be part of the water of the river that passes you by. And the moment is gone. And you wasted it on talking and thinking about a dead issue which never existed. You spending your now time, your lifetime, the time that you can build and make something, make difference in your life, talking about something that you would have no control and no whatsoever, talking about something that is dead and gone. So you're really bringing death into your now and making your now to be a past by talking about something that you can have no consequence, no changes to it. So you're killing your present, thinking by that you will change the dead carcass of some situation that happened before. So my opinion for you is, don't dwell the past. Past, is gone, is dead, is already taken care of. By how? By the fact that it's dead. It has no juice. It cannot hurt you. You cannot do anything. Doesn't matter what you think about it or she thinks about it. It doesn't have any fangs anymore. It's dead. It's gone. You are free from it. That's what good is, past. But dwelling on it, it brings a memory. With that memory brings an emotional file. The emotional file makes your body react to it, and you create anger, and the anger will create hate, and the hate messes up your relationship. What for? Enjoy the moment of your girlfriend, and the girlfriend enjoy you at that moment, because in that very moment, you're no longer what you used to be in the past anyhow. So why would you be talking about something that you now had nothing to do with it? Because you now are nothing like you in the past. As molecules and atoms of everything changes every second and every moment, you have changed. Your consciousness has changed, is developed, you think differently, your cells have changed, your function, your neurons are hitting differently, your material processing, your brain works on different level with the experiences they had before. It will not see what that situation was in the same way anymore. So everything about you is different. You're a change, you're a different person. Why would you want to spend your time on you in the past? You're not that past anymore. You're now. You're a different person. So enjoy each other's newness and forget what is dead. Dead is dead. We have no use for it, and it has no hurt and cannot hurt us anymore. So I hope that answers your question, Alex. Santosh. Oh, Santosh. Okay, I'll come back to your question. How do you define life, Santosh asks. Let me see my other question here that I noticed first. Okay. Janet says, you have given me lots of ideas on coping by being in control of my thoughts. Like you are now saying, not thinking about past. You have such control of your mind. You think. I find it hard. Does it get easier with practice? Yes, it does. Because it's all about conditioning. We've been conditioned to think the way we think. Ever since childhood, we're conditioned to react and act, pursue things on the basis of our customs and traditions, tribalism, nationalism, beliefs, right or wrong. What the teacher said, what the constable said in the street, what the father said, what the mother said, what education level they had, what experiences they had. Based on their experiences, they define the world for us, and our behavior and actions based on what their past was and their generation past had passed on to them. But that conditioning can be reconditioned. Just like, when the soccer teams buy another player from another team, that player has been conditioned in a certain way in the training by the coach and the practices of that other team. Now, whether that works for this team or not, he needs to be reconditioned. Either the whole team needs to be reconditioned to come to his level, or he needs to be reconditioned to fit, match the new stuff that is happening in this team. So we need to recondition ourselves to be better equipped to deal with things in life. So yes, it will get easier by practice. Like if you want to meditate, it's very difficult because the entity that we know as life is made out of two things, two parts. mind and the body. Most think that we are the body, and my tongue experiences tastes, my tongue tastes, and my legs walk. That's what we most think. However, mind tastes through tongue, mind walks through manipulation of the legs. If that is the case, then we understand that how our body, if we control our body, that doesn't necessarily mean that we're controlling our mind. You can tie up your body with the rope as tight as you can. Now you can't move. But the tighter you harness your body, you control your body, the tighter you tie up your body, the more agile and active your mind becomes. You cannot control the mind by tying up yourself physically. So you have to understand that what your body does is based on, and how you react to it is based on how your mind has been functioning and conditioned. So we need to use this, recondition it. That will then take care of this, and even some of the pains of the memories that they each have an emotional file with them, these memory files, it won't appear because you've reconditioned yourself, and the body will not respond to any of that because you think differently now. Same thing that was giving you pain yesterday because it was against your certain tradition or customs. If you change your mind and understand why you think that way, should you be thinking that way? Who said you should be bound to that way of thinking? And if you change that mind, you free that kind of a programming in your consciousness, and therefore your body and your emotions would not react in a certain way that you thought you should be reacting that way. Almost everything that we do, other than all the conditionings that was done and passed through us by genes through thousands of years ago, everything that we do is based on how we react through our conditioning of the content of the consciousness. Now, how do you start? You start with trying to put your mind to do something it hasn't done before. As I was trying to say, for example, meditation. In meditation, it's very difficult to begin with because your body can be listening to you sitting quietly, but your mind is very active and powerful and agile. It'll go to the moon and back in a second, and before you know it, it's ready to go to Mars. So you need to be able to teach your mind to relax, to decrease its ripples that is constantly active in the mind to a lower level, imperceptible, decreasing ripples, so you will actually be able to bring your mind, which is all over the place, to and with and harmony in where your body is. Then you have mind and body both coordinated and residing at the same place, same locale, rather than your body is here and your mind is with so many other things, maybe in a different country, maybe emotionally in contact with somebody else in some other country, or think about your bills, think about your troubles. So always mind and body are separated, because mind is thinking about so many other troubles or challenges or happiness or things, and your body is here. So the mind and body are not coordinated. That's when you actually don't have the manifestation of your total powers. If you have had a chance to take a look at the seminar I did at a local university here, I believe it was many months ago, and I have the sample video of it. It's free. You can go on my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, and you will have, or you go on my YouTube channel, just my name, Mehran.de, and then you look for 5 minutes or 10 minutes excerpts of this seminar, which has a picture of me, somebody's trying to bend my arm or somebody's trying to lift me up. On that video, on that segment, seminar, even if you go on my site, there is a free 10-minute section of it that you can see. it will show you that when mind and body are coordinated, amazing, powerful things changes in you, amazing capabilities come to you. And when they're not coordinated, it simply it acts as an object and has no life in it, so it can be controlled. On that little video, you will see that when mind and body is coordinated, there's something like called energies running through us. And when that energy is harnessed and controlled and you can direct it, then neither they can bend your arm when they could, if you didn't use that. If you use your muscles, somebody stronger can bend your arm. And if you use your muscle to stay on the ground, somebody bigger and taller can lift you up. But when you have your mind and body both focused on the same part of your body, neither they can bend your arm, nor they can lift you up, which is against the law of physics. That's a pretty cute thing and a big statement. But you need to see that tape. These are irregular powers that you each have. And these powers are not in order to show you that you can do magical acts or, like a circus tricks. No, it's just to show you that you're more powerful than you think you are. So with all these little things that comes to your life, you're not supposed to be withering and say, oh, I have no power to withstand it, because it's all up here. If you think you miss someone, you miss someone. If you think you're lacking something, then you lack. If you think you're able to do something, then you will. Within good reasons, all of these have to do with what you and how you think. So knowing that your mind and body has far more superior power than you have ever been taught, led to think, then you will know that you have support and you have powers beyond your understanding, but in your control, that you can use it and unleash it in face of your troubles and your challenges, and not to think that you're just a physical entity. There's a lot more to you than you see in the mirror. And that is the connection of your mind, your energy, the flow of what keeps you alive and passes through you on every moment from one end of the universe to the other, which is the energy, the connection of your energy with the universal energy, with the nature's energy. That connection brings you what I just said. You can't be lifted up and your arm cannot be bent. Watch that little short video. It'll explain much better than I can do. So, you're welcome, Alex. And I think I should go back to Santosh. Let me see if there's a simpler question here before I get myself in trouble with Santosh. Santosh's question. I love that question, so I want to leave it for last. Okay, let's see what we have. Will this take years? Well, it's like saying, how long would it take for an orange tree or an apple tree to grow, develop? It's constantly in development. So yes, it will take years, but all through the years that it takes for you to get further and further, you're benefiting from its fruits. So every year there's apple, every season there's apple and oranges on that tree. But yes, the tree is getting stronger and developed further as well. But that doesn't mean you should wait years before you enjoy the benefits of having this tree on your lot. So you can start meditation, you can start training, you can start learning how to understand the relationship between mind and the body and develop further, but you can use it and benefit from its powers, its benefits, its ways while you're developing it. It's like, you're cooking, and while you're cooking, you eat a little bit. So you won't go hungry until the food is ready. So you nourish while you're building. Janet says you have seen the whole video. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. I know. The whole video is like $8.50, very nominal fee, but 10 minutes of it is free. The whole video is about an hour. I get 50 minutes. It was done in a local university just a while back. I was invited there by a group, and it was a very interesting way. For the first time, I believe, anywhere it was done, was for the way I connected thoughts and fear, and we discussed it. And that, I think, it was something that I really enjoyed doing and delivering. Okay, now let's get back to Santosh, since we don't have any other question right now. Santosh says, respect this. Okay, thank you, Santosh Chan. Respect you as well. How do you define life? It's a long, wonderful discussion. That question is a life by itself. Somebody says, give the answer of my question, dear. I don't understand who that is. Anyhow, we'll get to your answer once, now that I'm dealing with this one. So, how do you define life? Well, life certainly is not about eating and sleeping. These are what we need to do to be able to facilitate our livelihood so we can get to other things. It's not even just about the things that gives us pleasure. We do operate on the level of pain and pleasure. Anything that is pleasurable, we seem to be attracted to, have a propensity to go towards it. That is why, to be able to choose the right pleasure, it's very important. Otherwise, that program that gives you pleasure could also give you death, could also lead you to the wrong alley. Because pleasure is also like a lure. If you don't choose it right, it could be consuming you. In the name of pleasure, you will lose whatever you actually wanted to accomplish, which was to be receiving certain pleasure. So let's discuss pleasure being part of life. Why do we seek pleasure? Well, first of all, it's something that we operate on, and we are programmed to seek pleasure, and that's why many of you seek pleasure in different things. Eating a lot, sports, sex, research, different things. But through pleasure, you tend to subconsciously seek psychological security, which is elusive. You will never arrive to it. But you're doing everything you can in life to arrive to that psychological security. So perhaps we can define that in pursuit of that elusive psychological security, what defines our life. And in pursuit of that, to make meaning out of life, we actually end up in many different wrong alleys. Because we think just pursuit of the pleasure will bring us psychological security, because at the time of pleasure, we seem to not be worried or thinking about anything else, trouble or not, that is facing us in life. Why do you fall in love? Beside the fact that you're programmed to be attracted and to fall in love. Through love and intimacy, your mind is totally focused for that pleasure. When your mind is totally focused on that pleasure of intimacy, sex, or love, whatever you call it, then your mind is free from thinking about any other challenge or problem that you may have in life. So you got to figure out the reason that you're actually following pleasure. Is it because you really like that pleasure, or is it because it is a portal for you, right or wrong, it is a portal for you to forget about responsibilities, duties, and things that seems to be demons to you and challenging monsters of life. So is pleasure a way to escape from life itself? Or is pleasure supposed to be part of life, to give us the spice and energize to go on and build something that is has more longevity than the momentary pleasure that we seek? So just because we're programmed to seek pleasure doesn't mean that pleasure should become any kind, and all kind of pleasure should become the pursuit of our life and the meaning of our life. There's so many different levels. Learning and understanding how to coordinate our mind and body to manifest our total power is part of life. Learning to choose the proper pleasures so you won't end up in the wrong alley, because there's all kind of pleasure. You can get pleasure from, using drugs or alcoholism. They all have certain pleasure. Many different activities and substances and so on gives different kind of pleasure. But does that pleasure justify what happens to your mind and body and where you will be and how you will be? These are all needs a certain wisdom. So even though we are operating on the level of pleasure and pain, but we should have a wisdom to seek which pleasure and not seek which pleasure, to be able to develop and grow in a certain way that collectively we experience wisdom. Through our actions, we gain experience. Through the experience, we get knowledge. That knowledge becomes a memory and becomes part of our consciousness. So the meaning of life, here it is, defining life, is when we can balance all these propensities, all these things that we are interested in. Pleasure, we run on the pleasure, we run on all these things that we want to accomplish. Learning how mind and body can coordinate so we manifest our total power. Learning the wisdom so we can choose the right pleasure and stay away from the wrong pleasure. Learning how we can contribute to the flow of energy that flows from one end of the universe through us to the other end of the universe. So how we can expand it and extend it towards other things in our life so they also can grow and develop. Learning experiences that brings positive understanding of our connection with the nature, and experiences that teach us more and gives us more wisdom in this life. All of that will be accumulated and experienced by our consciousness. So when we die, all of that information, all of that experience, all of that wisdom does not die, does not become evaporated. It, like our energy, in my opinion, falls back to the source, the universe. And that wisdom that we accumulated, experienced in our lifetime, the way we lived, how we were able to stay away from negative, shun the negative, and bring the positive, help ourselves develop, help our families and help the citizens of the world to develop better and live a better and healthier and happier life. All that wisdom that we gained through our momentary life that seems to be so long is supposed to go back to the universal wisdom, add to the collective consciousness of the universe. So a universe as a whole, it can become wiser and expand. So therefore, it can develop and evolve into a more fair and better, stronger universe as a field of growth of us humans and any other species that could want to live in this world. So through our life, we're supposed to gain certain experiences, which those experiences could help and develop and bring about a better and more wisdom to the whole, not just to us and the surroundings. Also when we die, this wisdom, this collective, this consciousness will add to the collective consciousness of the universe and makes the whole universe a wiser, place to be. A little bit, just touching on that definition of life. That is the calling of every one of us, to be positive, to learn, and to be able to help things develop in our shadow, not to overshadow that nothing develops. The love and the positivity, being able to learn as much as we can. The wisdom that we experience, to extend that wisdom to the others, so the others will also benefit from what we learn, if it's positive and good. So when we die, this wisdom also adds, even while we're alive, this wisdom is connected to the collective consciousness of the universe, and everything is affected by our positive experiences and our wisdom that we gain. So the universe as a whole, while we're alive and when we die, benefits from this expansion of wisdom and how we live and our experiences. That's the way to think. Life is not limited to our individual time of living. Life is, its purpose partly is for us to help the universe to grow and become wiser by our way of living. I hope, Santosh, that was something that you asked for. That was Misbah asking. You're impatient, Misbah? Wait. Misbah says, a girl is in a relationship to someone, but at a time she got fascinated to someone else. Can you define the situation? Nothing to define. The girl likes some boy, and while she's interacting with that boy, she happens to like somebody else. Obviously, whether she likes him because it's new, or she has not enough confidence in herself, so she's seeking confidence by attracting attention of more boys, because many people think if other people pay attention to them, that means they are more of what they are, or they're better than what they are, because they don't find that confidence and affirmation from how they live, how they learn, how they are in control of their day-to-day and their life. Yet they find that value in confirmation and affirmation of the others, which means by them paying attention to her. Many people, mostly women, also men too, they think that their value comes from outside. It's dependent on the attention of the outside people. The more people smile at them, look at them, think how pretty they are, or how good looking the man is, or how much wealth the man has, or what he drives or what doesn't, or the girl thinks, oh, how many guys looked at me, that's their measuring unit of how wonderful they have become. But that is also short-lived and has no basis, because who are the people that give you the affirmation themselves? What have they accomplished? There could be some other jerks running around trying to get affirmation from the others. So you're trying to feel valuable, worthy, by seeking affirmation from people who themselves have shortcomings and looking for seeking affirmation from others, who you don't know who they are. So instead of all that, you gotta seek affirmation from your own connection with the nature and understanding of your wisdom, and developing your thoughts and your abilities to negotiate life and make better decisions and take care of yourself mentally and physically and become independent. And that will give you the affirmation that you need, not the attention of this guy or that guy and that guy, or that girl and that girl and that. There's no end to it. That's just called, being horny. In a way, or it's just called not being really confident in yourself, and you're trying to seek confidence by presenting yourself or being accepted or being affirmed or being paid attention to by others, whether because you have a nice handbag, or you're wearing a nice shoes, or you have a nice, lots of money, or a nice house, or a nice car, or whatever, or how you look. These are not really what gives you value. What gives you value is how you negotiate life and make right decisions to advance, help yourself grow, and help others grow. And you don't need other people's attention to feel confident in yourself. Okay, now, questions, guys? Let's see. It's a moment of truth again. I gotta find out what time it is. I always forget to have a watch or something, and I gotta kind of see what time it is through some kind of an apparatus, which I don't have it here. That's funny. Okay, now somebody who's in LA, Alex, tell me what time is it? It has the same time zone that I have here. Alex, please tell me what time it is. Alex also has a question. Okay, I won't answer your question until you tell me what time it is. Alex, write down what time is it. 11:26. Okay, thank you. We got a few more minutes. So Alex says, you often talk about how to move on and feel better. Do you believe every relationship needs work? What is your suggestion, and what kind of work has to go into make a good relationship into a great lasting one? Well, it's a very good it's a very good question, Alex. I actually like to think that a good relationship doesn't need work. Because while I understand what it means that a relationship needs work, you got to be understand, compromising, helpful, supportive, unselfish. We know all that. But I'm saying if you're selecting it right, and the purpose of you being in a relationship and the purpose of the girl being in the relationship, the purpose of the two people who want to be in a relationship, if that purpose is synchronized and is the same, then the relationship will work. But if one of you is entering a relationship because of certain reason, let's say sex, and the other one enters a relationship because of achieving that elusive psychological security, or feels secure that there's provisions and perhaps there's a roof on his or her head to be safe and sleep somewhere and have food and all that. If the purposes are different, if one comes into a relationship because it's seeking a long-lasting relationship based on loyalty and love and unselfishness to build a family together, and the other one comes in because the guy is rich or wealthy and she just wants to have things because her idea of a good life is to have, Prada bags and this and, luxury of this and go to disco and ha and drink and have parties. These are different goals. These are different directions. There are different reasons to be in a relationship. So if the reasons for being in a relationship is not synchronized, I don't care how hard you work, it's not going to work, because shit hits the fan eventually, and both will realize that your purposes are different. You're there to use that one for a certain reason, the other one is there to use that one for a certain reason. A relationship that is both based on the same reasoning, same purpose, same heading, same trajectory, and is directed at same goal, doesn't need much work. Because the love comes naturally, unselfishness comes naturally. Because they both realize, if I want to build this, and he wants to build this, together we want to build this, both will cooperate, whether she's working or not working, or he's working or not working. Whatever they gather, they bring together. They don't hide things from each other. They don't show their interest or have interest about other people out there, no matter what they have or what they don't have. They will be focused on building together what they set out to build, because they both have the same reasoning for wanting to be in a relationship. To understand each other, courting time, to learn about each other, to see if they're compatible or not. Once all that has been done and they decided to become an item, then It's stupid to have to now work it, convince her or convince him to be faithful, to love me, to be with me, to look at me as the only. All that is because they joined on the basis of physical attraction, and that physical attraction runs out, and they have nothing else in the meantime, that they were physically so hot for each other. They didn't use that time to connect on the consciousness level, to bond and learn more and see if their ways and policies and philosophy of life is the same. So are they traveling on the same road, on the same direction, toward the same goal? And if they didn't do all that, then it will always fall apart. But it looks like after work, what do you work for? You teamed up. It's like two horses teaming up to pull a wagon. Well, they teamed up to pull this wagon. They didn't team up to work and say, hey, run, hey, walk, what's wrong with you? Hey, what can I do for you? You want me, do your mane? You want me to pat you on the back? What do you want me to do? Bring you water? Well, it's supposed to be working and running side by side with the same kind of effort and commitment. It's not supposed to be to constantly try to buttering him up or work it and buy this and try that to please her or please him. What the fuck is that? That's not a relationship. So it's the matter is, if you both are facing the same direction, your reasons for being in a relationship is the same, and your understanding of each other's consciousness is already proven to you that is compatible and it's in harmony, and then you are fitted as pairs, and you can try to pull that wagon together toward the same direction. That wouldn't have to need work. If they cannot figure out things and be happy before they join together, they will always look to be happy and find the other person's responsibility to make him happy. So they're always unhappy, and the other one has to work to make him happy. That's not the way to be. So be happy first, then find out the person that you like or love. Also, you can connect in consciousness level. Then just don't give a shit about anything else out there, and just together pull this wagon and take it where you want to take it. It shouldn't be work. Work is for things that don't work. And if it don't work, well, it doesn't matter how much work you put in it. You have to convince the other person to be with you. It's better not. She has to have her own reasons why she wants to be with you, and you have to have your own reasons why you want to be with her. And together you find reasons why you want to team up, and then that will work. That's my opinion, in short. Now, guys, I think this is now time for me to say goodbye. I'm happy that you guys had the chance to be here, and I hope that I answered some of your questions and concerns, and I look forward to see you guys next week, the same time, 10:30 Vancouver time, LA time, and it's pretty much about, I think, 8 hours later, 8:30 maybe, or 6:30 in Europe. And may you have a wonderful week, things sort out for you, and be well, think deep, and judge well. Be good to yourself and to the others. Love you all. Talk to you later. And make sure, please, share this video or the videos that you like on my channel on YouTube. And do visit my site, www.mindthatseekstruth.com, and join my Facebook page, mindthatseekstruth.com. I think the Facebook page is right up here. You can click on it and join it, like it, so you will see the schedule for live talks and other schedules that I have. And basically share the videos and share the posts and let the others know that there is support out there. And be well, take good care of yourself, and talk to you next week. Tomorrow I have a live talk on the amazing things in the world Facebook page, which that also has a post on my Facebook page, and you'll know when that starts. Have a lovely day and week. Talk to you guys later. Thanks for being here and spending some time with me. Bye for now.